Okay, so now we're going to look at the cosine rule. So the cosine rule is still, you can use it on any triangle, so it doesn't have to be a right angled triangle. And once again, we label it up the same, where we label a capital letter for the angles and the sides become the opposite and they become the little letters. Okay, so the cosine has a couple of different rules. If you're wanting to find a side, so you're missing a side, here are the rules that you can use. So the cosine rule, you can see that it's written as a squared. So really what we would, if we were working it out, it would actually be the square root of all of those. Okay, but because you guys use your solve function, you can use solve at this point, but just as long as you write comma a. So, but you might just still want to pop them in, because this is essentially how you would do it without the solve. So you can see that it's when you have two sides of the triangle and the missing side's angle. So that's when you can use the cosine rule. And you can also use a version of it to find the angles as well. And that they're written here, down here. So it's actually saying cos A. So say, for example, I just really wanted to show you what you actually do on the calculator. It'll be the inverse cos of A squared plus C squared. So this is when you have all the sides of the triangle and you're wanting to find an angle in the triangle. We can use the cosine rule. So at the moment, the chapter is just going to be just all cosine rule. So eventually we're going to have them all mixed up, and I've put a formula chart in the back of your books, and I'll show you how to use that once we've gotten through all the formulas. Back from there. All right, so let's have a look at this example. It says for the triangle ABC, find the length AB. So AB would be little c, as they've described, and they're saying to 2 decimal places. So because I have two sides and the included angle, so that's when you actually use sine, when you have two sides and the included angle. That's when you use cosine, sorry. I think I said sine there. So we want to find side C. So if you look back on the other page, it said C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos C. Oh my god, I've written cos twice. Sorry. Cos C. So you can type that out like substitute in. So you could write C squared equals, now A is there and B, so it'll be 5 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 5 times 10 times cos 67. So you can write it out like that and write solve comma C, or you can straight into the calculator, you could just do the square root of the formula, which is 5 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 5 times 10 cos 67. Okay, so it's whichever way you want to do that or that, it doesn't matter. So I'll just show you. Okay, so we got the answer to be, to 2 decimal places, 9.27 centimeters. Okay. All right, so let's have a look at this next one. It says find the magnitude of the angle ABC. So they really want X there, because it's always a letter in the middle. For the triangle ABC, give to 2 decimal points. So we want angle B. So if you wrote out the formula, it says cos B equals, and I believe it was A squared plus C squared minus B squared over 2AC. Okay, so I'm just, or So if we go to type it in the calculator, we can go straight, we can do solve, or we can just go straight to the inverse of this a squared plus c squared minus over 2ac. Okay, so you can do solve if you like at this point and comma capital B, or you can go straight to this. So I'm going to use the straight way, and it's going to be, so when I find the answer, it's going to be inverse cos of a squared, and a, that's a, b, c, so it's 12 squared plus 6 squared minus 15 squared over 2 times 6, 2 times 12 times 6, just going to write it that way so you know the formula, times 6, okay, and we'll put that in our calculator. So we're going to say 108.21 degrees. It's very uncommon that they give an angle to 2 decimal places. It's generally just a whole number there. So, but we'll just do what the question says. Okay, here's a couple of exam questions. So if they gave me this and they're asking me to find x, I'll just label up the triangle the way we're used to. So A, B, C, because I called that angle A, this is side little a, this is side little b and c. So I'm trying to find angle B, so I'll use and when I've got all three sides and I'm trying to find an angle, I'll use the cosine rule, which is cos B, and this is going to be, again, a squared plus c squared minus b squared over 2ac. So I'll pop that, whatever it is. So b is actually going to equal inverse cos of 6 squared plus 3 squared minus 5 squared over 2 times 6 times 3. And you can and you just have to type this bit into the calc, okay? So if we do that, okay, so we got B to equal 56 degrees. And that looks good in the diagram. It looks like it's under 90, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, with the next question, let's have a look. It said, in a game of beach soccer, a player at point F is attempting to kick a goal. She is 6 meters from one goalpost and 8 meters from the other goalpost H. From where she's standing, the angle through which she can shoot the goal to score is 19 degrees. So what you've got is this triangle here. They're pretty much giving you that, okay? And they've given you 2 sides and an included angle. So what is the distance between the goalposts? So they're looking for this distance here, okay? So if you want, you can just label it up like we're used to. So that'll be, I'm going to call that A, B, and capital C. This would be little a, little b, little c. So I obviously want side A. So the rule is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Okay, so you can type that into your calculator. I'm going to just go straight into the square root formula. This one. Okay, and so I pop in the data, which would be 8 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 8 times 6 times cos 19. And so this bit is what I'm going to type into the calculator to get the 3.04 meters. Okay, so that sounds pretty alright on a beach beach soccer thing. Unreasonable. Okay, so CW is 90 meters straight path between a canoeing activity and a water slide located at W. Okay, so we've got a diagram down here. GW is a straight path between the gate entry and the water slide. So they've done that, and so this was taken from a previous question which you needed this diagram, so I just popped it in. If it's sort of not making sense because there was a whole heap of other questions before it, but you can still go from this point on because it just says show that GW is 115.3 meters, correct to 1 decimal place. So when they ask you to show, you have to show the formula and the working out. So this is where, you know, even if the calculator can solve it, it's already given you the answer. They want you to show how you get the answer. So if I just label this A, B, oh, actually that one's already C. So I might call that one C and this one B. Okay, so that's little b, that's little a, and that's little c. Now they want GW, which is little c. Okay, so I would write out that formula that I want to use. So when we've got, so I'd write c squared equals a squared 2ab cos C. So what they want to see is that you've put in all that. So we might call it GW squared equals A. So we'll write 90 squared plus 40 squared minus 2 times 90 times 40 times cos 120. Okay, and you might put the final step in and you can just say, well, GW is when the square root of all of that. 90 times 40 times cos 120. Now they already told you, I wouldn't be bothered doing it on the calculator. I'm just going to say equals 115.3 because they told me that. So I'm confident that's the formula I'd use. So I'll just write that like that and I'll get my mark there. Okay. So they're probably definitely looking for this. Either one of these two have to be written out. All right, to show that for that one.